What the heck is a birth chart reading?
I'm literally the meme that when I meet a guy, I'm going to ask them for their birthday straight away.
Welcome to Let's Talk About with Lili and Lou, the podcast in which we are going to discuss with you all the things that multidimensional women in the 21st century go through in hopes that we can break some taboos together. But first, every episode, we are going to start with a confession corner because Lou and I have actually never met in real life. We've only ever met over the internet. So we're like modern day priestess. And that's why we are going to do a confession corner with you. So today, Lou, what is your confession?
I quit my job.
Again. Again. Do you have any jobs left, girl?
I do.
Modern
woman.
What did you quit and what did you start?
In the last year, I had accumulated OnlyFans as a way to cope around stripping. And I started my job as a spiritual healer. So kind of holistic therapy. And I provided different services to get to know yourself and help you on your healing journey, basically.
Okay. To
keep it short, very short. So I announced that I was quitting OnlyFans, I think about 3 months ago now, because it wasn't aligned with me anymore. And I had kept stripping as a security blanket because I needed to launch the other one more and I could just go in whenever I want, make some cash, whatever. But the reality is, and excuse my language, I can't be fucked with the late nights. I can't be fucked with talking to people. The only thing I liked is going on stage. And let's also be real. I'm kind of fell in love and I'm just like, I don't want to go, like stripping is done for me. Like I always knew that.
I love that so much. I can't be fucked with talking to people. That's how I feel. Like everyone always thinks that I'm this massive extrovert, but I'm introverted as
me
fuck.
Too.
Like I don't like talking to people whatsoever.
Most people on social medias are introvert or introvert extroverts.
Yeah,
like
and then
no.
People are like,
you put me in a social situation. I'm like,
yeah, and that's the thing. Like everyone thinks that an introvert is shy. I'm not shy. Like I can hold myself in a group, but literally, I'd rather not. I'd rather not talk to them.
Yeah.
So I feel that. I feel that. Well, congrats. I'm happy that you started a new job and that you left
really
your
excited.
old life behind. So yeah, you can book her.
Long time coming.
Exactly.
What about you?
So my confession, why do I feel like your confessions are always so serious and then mine are just like stupid shit I did in my life? So my confession is that I had a wet dream the other day. I didn't piss myself, but I woke up like the female version of a wet dream. Like I woke up.
I did not expect this.
I woke up being like,
yeah.
Oh my God. Like, everyone knows how a wet dream goes. Like women have that as well. You have a dream that you're having sex or that you're masturbating or whatever. And then you actually come and then you wake up and you're super confused because you're like, the fuck just happened?
Did it actually happen?
Did I?
And then
you like try to feel like, am I wet? And you're like, yeah, I am. This is strange. So yeah, that's my confession. And yours are super serious. And I'm sorry. This is like
mine wasn't really serious, but yeah, I see the thing. I'm keeping my details to myself right now. That's all.
Look, I have no shame. There's no boundaries.
I like it.
You guys get to know everything.
It's probably more interesting than me. That's good. Cool.
Scandalous.
But yeah.
So today I'm super excited because we are going to talk about something that's super close to you and hopefully close to me as well. Once I've heard it, we are going to talk about the birth chart readings that you do, and you are going to do my birth chart. And then my first question is, Lou, what the heck is a birth chart reading?
Okay, so the way I call it is a birth chart breakdown. Because it's a simplified version and a reading, as I'm not an astrologer and I have learned through books that I've got, studying on like whatever Instagram and other astrologers, and like been told I was an astrologer in the past lives, and like I don't know, this shit comes easy for me. I just understand it. I don't know how to always explain it, but I just kind of get it. So I call it a breakdown, which is basically I enter your information, which is your birthday, your birth time, which needs to be the most accurate as possible, and your birthplace into a generator. I'm using Shani Nicola's birth chart automatic generator or something.
Yeah.
And once I've put that in, I get all the information. which basically a birth chart is your unique snapshot of the sky. Like it's a screenshot of the sky at the exact time and place you were born. So all the planets were in different signs.
Okay.
And also houses, and they have connections between each other, but we don't go in that. In my report at the minute, I might update it later on, but at the minute, I only do the planets and the signs being in the planets.
Okay.
So for example, Mercury is the planet of communication. Venus, the planet of love. If Venus is in Sagittarius is very free-spirited and loving of adventures and can't really be caged down and stuff like that. So this is how you love, and this is how you're going to want to find a partner that's not needy and follows you into your adventures and all that stuff. Like very free-spirited as well would work the most for you.
How is this different from like my horoscope, or how does it relate to a horoscope?
Yeah, so I hate horoscopes. Absolutely hate them because I think they're fucking up astrology when people are like, oh, it's like this horoscope bullshit and like pseudoscience. Astrology is a language. It's real.
Yeah.
You need to learn about it. And it's not fixed in stone. It's just like fate, destiny, all that kind of stuff. Like nothing is set in stone. You can make everything happen, but it gives you information about yourself because it tells you about basically, I'll say strengths and weaknesses you were born with, like your potential given at birth. And when you learn that, you understand who you are, which my biggest thing around being a spiritual healer is awareness is key. And your relationship with yourself defines every other relationship in your life. So you get to know yourself. And from that point on, you heal some shit because we all have our own kind of stuff. And then that's going to help with your relationship with others. So once you get that awareness about your birth chart, for example, strengths and weaknesses, you have the tools of how you can interact. So for example, I'll do a basic example. I have like 4 different planets in Libra. Libra are really known for their indecision in any kind of decisions, up to like looking up the menu online before going anywhere and still not being able to decide where they're at the place. Like I'm known for my indecision, and I never knew why. Because I thought I'm a Virgo. I was born in September. It's not a Virgo sign. And when I learned about that and how many actually characteristic I have from Libras, I was like, fuck, hang on, that makes sense. And now I can work on that because I know indecision is one of my weaknesses. So I know that I need to make decisions because it's just fear of
that you
whatever,
need to
the
work
unknown,
on
the future. I don't know what it is, but at least now that I know this, I can make an effort to make little decisions here and there.
So it's not as general
for me to make decisions.
It's not as general as a horoscope then, because I always feel like when I read horoscopes, I'm like, okay, that could be anyone. Literally, you're just saying that
could be anyone.
I may or may not fall in love next month. Okay, cool. Anyone could or could not fall in love next month. We all know that.
You may struggle with money in the next few weeks. And suddenly you decide to spend money shopping or something. And then it's like, oh, fuck, that was right. But was it right because they said it to you, so you did it, or because you did it by yourself?
Exactly.
It's like it guides your day. It's giving you something. So if they tell you you're going to have a shit day, most likely you're going to have a shit day.
Exactly.
And
so
the
seed has been planted. So basically,
exactly.
Inception.
That's right.
But so this focuses more on just general characteristics of a person, right? So it does like talk about how you express yourself, basically.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. That's good. Okay. I use it the same way as I hope that's not like around, but like as I work with the moon, and I love working with full moons and new moons, which are every 2 weeks. So you've got 2 each month, and I write intentions every time. But basically, it's a tool for personal growth where every 2 weeks I look back on my goals and where I'm going. But I use the moon to do it. But basically, I am making goals and intentions that I'm looking back. Oh, what did I do the last 2 weeks to achieve those goals? And
so you're not going to predict my future.
No, some people can do that. They can actually advanced astrologers can see some stuff. Between what's happening now in the sky and what's happening in your chart, they can link it. I am not advanced. I'm doing basic right now.
Okay.
Because I think
not gonna lie, I'm not sure I believe in that, but
I feel that's all right.
I'm very excited to know
what's she on about.
No, but I'm
obviously
open
very
to
passionate about it, so I'm okay with that. That's okay.
I love that. No, but like I'm open to learning about it. And I love hearing about it, but probably not the stage where I feel like you can predict my future just yet. But
And
definitely
yeah,
very
don't even
excited to hear
worry
about my
about
birth
that.
reading or birth chart. Sorry. So
I'm literally the meme that when I meet a guy, I'm going to ask them for their birthday straight away,
really?
eventually their birth time, and then do it for them, whether they ask me to or not. Like, that's me.
I feel like most people don't know their birth time though, right?
No, but if they call their mom or their dad in front of me, it's bonus points.
Oh my God.
Which has
Okay, well,
happened.
guys, that's how Lou will fall in love with you. There you go. You're welcome. Make sure you get her
Yeah.
consent before you do anything, though. Okay, let's start. I'm excited now. Let's
Yes.
start with my birth chart. Where do we start? What do I
So,
have to do?
well, you previously sent me your birth time, place, and birthday,
Yeah.
which you are Gemini. So I have your actual chart, like the graphic in front of me right now, because I entered
Okay.
that. And then I did the PDF of my breakdown that I offer to people on my website, healingwithlou.com. And so we've got, for example, the way it starts, because I'm using Shiny Nicola, is that you've got the 3 first keys of your chart, which is your sun, your moon, and your rising or ascendant
Okay.
sign. Cool. So your sun is your identity, who you are as an individual.
Yeah.
And that's the one that you know. You're Gemini because you were born, was it 1st of June, right?
Yes.
Yes, right. Your moon is your emotions, how you express your feelings, what you need in life as well.
Okay.
Basically, how you nurture or care for others and yourself. And the rising ascendant sign is how you feel most like yourself.
Okay.
So when you, for example, well, actually, let's just I'll get straight in there. Your rising sign is in Sagittarius, which, as I noticed, is exactly like me.
Oh, is
And this
that
is
why we get
probably
along so
why we
much?
have such good chemistry, right? As we've been
So
told a
wait, that
couple
is how I
times.
express my emotions.
No,
Oh.
this is how you feel most like yourself. So
Oh, the
Sagittarius
rising. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, the rising. Your moon
Yeah.
is in Pisces.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yes.
did we skip one? Did I not hear one?
No. I jumped straight away because we have the same. And I was like, let me go to the last one first because then I can do a parallel. Because I'll do like basic example. When I moved from France to Australia, it was like the most impulsive decision of my life, which is a characteristic of Sagittarius. Of course, it can be characteristic of other things, but it's a fire sign that is known to make rash, impulsive decisions, especially love traveling, philosophy, all of that kind of stuff. It's a free spirit.
That sounds
Every
like me.
time I make decisions like this, I feel so connected to myself, my soul, and all that stuff. And so like moving from France to Australia was my first one. And since then I've made much more, like even like getting tattoos, quitting my job this week because I woke up that morning and I actually didn't know I was going to do it like that. I thought about it a little bit, but I didn't know I was going to do it that day. So
it was
that's
impulsive,
typical Sagittarius shit. Yeah. And so you are like me in that sense. And sometimes it's out of your comfort zone, but it's like you get that switch and this is when you feel most like yourself.
Yeah, well, I can definitely relate to that. And I think that all my friends and family would say the same. Yes, you're impulsive. And yes, that's how you like to be, as in that's your favorite part of life. So
I love that.
Well,
and there's more to it, but like I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible because it's just, it works better with examples and stuff like that.
Of course. And then the moon was in?
Your moon is in Pisces, which Pisces are known to be very wearing rose-colored glasses. Is that the expression?
Yes.
Rose-colored glasses. Yeah. So that's like a typical Pisces trait. Living a little bit in your own world, your head in the clouds, very sensitive, very intuitive, emotional, lots of compassion for others, deep well of emotions. What did I write there? And now I have your chart in front of me. Your chart in front of me.
Yes.
You love. You love to love. And what you need most, actually, you have two things. You have Saturn Pisces as well. What you need most is to create healthy boundaries in order to nurture and help others without losing yourself in the process.
That is a fact. I think that's the hardest part of being a human, to be honest.
It
Setting the
is, I
boundaries
agree,
and
but it's like
nuts.
you, as having your Saturn, which is the planet of boundaries and rules and like structure, and your moon in Pisces means you have double difficulty of hey,
Lucky me.
of trying to set those boundaries because you want to be there for other, and it's a bit of like we've talked about it before together actually, like that codependency, you know, like you want to be available for people, you want to give because why not, but the thing is you may lose yourself in the process.
Exactly. I think I'm 27 and I'm just now starting to realize how to actually set boundaries, because it went from having no boundaries to like going everywhere and stuff to I don't want to see anyone, so I basically like went into my own little cocoon and was like, oh, I can't have this. And then now I'm kind of evening out the play field, so now I'm like hanging out with friends while at the same time also doing my own stuff, you know. And you laugh, but that's hard for me, you know, like I struggle
I know
with
that. I'm similar. I don't have the same as you, but my moon's, like I said, like I have 4 planets in Libra, and Libra is the people pleaser, and like I said in our previous podcast, the pushover. It's the one that wants to be liked by everyone, so it's gonna adapt. And so I have the same issue with boundaries, but in a different way. Which is
Imagine if I also had a Libra sign somewhere, that I would have difficulty with boundaries and would be a pushover.
Double the issues.
Oh, that would suck. Lucky me. That's not the case.
You don't actually. You have. Yeah, actually, I can jump straight away because I wrote it like Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and actually, if you go in your Mars.
So wait, all the planets.
Yes.
Like you have the sun, like all the planets starting with the sun in our Milky Way have a meaning. Do I understand that right? Like I don't know anything about this.
So
and probably a lot of people who are listening don't know either.
Yeah, I go a bit fast because I assume for some reason, but so you've got the sun, moon, your rising signs, but then out of that, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto they all mean something.
Okay.
And so, and it goes, actually, you know what? It's funny. It's not funny, but I mean, maybe. But when I was younger, I used to watch an anime called Sailor Moon. So all those chicks transforms into warriors of the galaxy, and each of them are a planet. This is how I got into astrology.
Oh,
I'm
really?
remembering this now. Yeah, because I was a fucking fan, and I like the one with the moon the most, and I actually relate to her and her clumsy fucking personality the most.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, looking at all of them, I remember this is how that happened, because then you have the inner planets, which have a bigger impact on your life. So you've got the 3 keys: sun, moon, rising. Inner planets: Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, which have a bigger impact on some areas of your life. So Jupiter is lucky planet, Venus love, Mars is drive, determination, handling conflict, Mercury communication. I'm like making it easier. Saturn boundaries, and outer planets, which are actually generational planets. So for example, I noticed Uranus, Neptune for you is the same as me. Generation mean they transit, so they change signs after like between 7 to 10 years. So yours and mine are in Capricorn, which means that our generation has a way of actually, I think it said something about, I don't know that by heart, but I know what it means.
Because it like they circle around the earth. Doesn't that also make sense because they circle around the world, and that is why they're in the same one?
And that's why we need the time of birth and all that stuff, because it changes.
Because the one that you start with is the closest one, and that one changes the fastest. And that is why you need the time. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just do a breakdown starting from the closest one, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, I did the first 3. And so then you've got, I was saying, I jumped into Mars because you were talking about boundaries, and Mars, your Mars is in Taurus, which is a quite stubborn, fixed, stable sign that needs stability, security, all that stuff. and that takes their time before making a decision. Like they're very strategic because they're looking after themselves, if that makes sense. Like their comfort zone means the most. That would counterbalance your Pisces tendencies.
Okay.
So everything that I say basically is not set in stone. Just because you have like your moon in Pisces or in Saturn doesn't mean you have shitty boundaries, because the planets interact with each other, and you have your own unique set of experiences. Every individual has their own unique sets of experiences and mistakes or whatever happened in their life that shaped them in a different way, and that could have helped them deal with it. But also
it's just getting to know yourself better, right?
From it. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Like my favorite part was reading my birth chart in every website that I could, to kind of get to know myself and be like, oh my God, this is me. I relate to this. And like, no, this is, no. But it helps you grow from there.
Okay. So we have sun, moon, rising, and then
Mars.
Okay. What comes after Mars?
I mean, it's not necessarily I don't know exactly which one's the closest. So I jumped on Mars, but like it can, like in your birth chart breakdown, I wrote Mercury first. Like it doesn't matter, if that makes sense.
Okay. It doesn't matter which one's stronger, you mean? Or
because they have different properties, if that makes sense. So Mercury is how you communicate and express yourself, while Mars is more like your drive and how you go after what you want, or how you handle conflicts and arguments. So same, for example, my Mars is in Libra, completely different than Taurus. Like you're either going to be defensive if someone confronts you, or you're going to be very practical and strategic in the way you handle the conflict. You'd rather lose a battle and win the war than the other way around. Well, for me,
what the funny thing is? That when I was younger, I would definitely go for the battle and not the war. But now that I'm older, like when
it changes.
Exactly. Now that I'm older, I'm definitely going after the war, not the battle.
I love that. And there's more. Well, I don't want to confuse actually, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to go into something else. But it's very interesting, because it's like saying like my Mars is in Libra, which means that I'm actually deeply scared of conflicts, and I will do anything I can to avoid them. So, and it just goes against whatever I'm into. But if it's something that doesn't involve me, then I cannot take position because of the decision thing. I'm literally going to see the gray area. It's not black and white for me. It's gray.
Yeah.
I understand.
For me, it's more black and white, not gonna lie.
The justification between actions. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the next one? So we had drive, we had conflicts.
So that's the same. That was Mars. Mercury is how you communicate in Cancer. So you express with your feelings a lot. Cancers are a very feeling sign, very direct though, like you can be very sharp and in tune, but also you can be overly emotional. And usually you can tend to worry about how others will perceive what you say. But your words carry a lot of emotions, and you try to combine them by using logic and sentimental.
That is me in a nutshell.
I felt kind of channeled doing that. Like I had informations and then I wrote it in like my own thing. So it feels nice to hear that, you relate, because that's what I want. Cool.
Okay.
So it makes me really happy. Yes. Venus. Venus is also in Cancer. I like that. Cancer is very, very loving, nurturing sign. Cancer is associated with the moon, because each planet, each sign is actually related to a planet.
Yeah.
So for example, if your moon was in Cancer, it would be very strong because Cancer is the sign of the moon.
Okay.
Or like Aries is the sign of Mars. So same, if your Mars was in Aries,
but they're not the same strong for me.
Yeah. So they're not, but it's like there are those aspects to take into account as well, because there's the opposite too. So for example, the Mars in Libra is in its detriment, because it's the opposite of taking action in that part with the indecision and stuff. So
okay, but
basically without going everywhere, your Venus is in Cancer, how you love and connect with others. So that's like how you're going to show that you love people, but also what you need in a partner. And cancers are very cuddly, food-based. It's a crab. Cancer is the crab. So they have shell, but a very soft stomach. And so you need reassurance. You usually tend to put your partner first. You love to make them feel loved and nurtured, but you just need them to acknowledge that you do that, you all do all of this for them.
Yes.
You're deeply scared of
to all my previous partners, you can comment if this is true. Go comments, go, don't slide into my DM, just comment so everyone else can see.
No sliding. Yes.
No sliding into my DMs. This is not an invite, but
can show their love with either food or physical touch. So like cuddles, or like making dinner, ordering dinner, like something like, or eating together, going out to eat together, that kind of stuff. Like they see that stuff, like comfort food as like,
or both together, because I want to, like, yes, I'll cook for you, but only if you stand behind me in the kitchen all the time and cuddle me. That is also my quality time.
Because Cancer is linked with the moon, they can get very moody, because a bit like the moon phases, their moods are changeable, they're adaptable, and it's a water sign as well, so they're very I'm just doing
flowy,
with my hands,
fluid.
Yeah, flowy is what I mean. Which means that you lack attention from a partner, but if you don't get it, you could get moody or give the silent treatment, for example.
Okay. I don't do that, but or I don't do that anymore. I used to do that when I was younger, because but my mom once told me, Lily, don't ignore me. That's very hurtful. And then I never did that to anyone ever again. But okay, let's move on, because I understand that it's not very interesting for other people to listen to what I am like, unless you want to get to know me on a deeper level. But let's move on. What's the next?
I can go faster. Jupiter, the lucky planet. So where you're going to feel most lucky, where you attract opportunities. So yours is in Scorpio. Scorpio is a very enigmatic private sign that is very observant of others and kind of keep things for themselves a little bit. It says, don't be afraid to be passionate about all the things that you dive into. But yeah, you are your luckiest when you live your life with passion. That's when you attract the most.
Isn't that true for everyone though?
Yes. It's like, because it is a generalization. So it is very true for you as much as it can be true for others. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my Jupiter, for example, is in Libra. And I think it's when I connect with other more.
Oh, okay, so
is no, if that makes sense.
I understand. Yeah. That is absolutely not for me. I'm definitely more the passionate one, not the connecting with others. Like, I take it back. What's the next one? Tell me the next one. I love this. Saturn. I'm getting to know myself.
Limitations, the way you structure yourself, or you don't.
Yes.
Because I have issues as well with that. So yours is in Pisces, which means you can it can be a bit hard for you to set up, build, and maintain strong boundaries. You need to learn to be your own person, so that your desire to merge with others doesn't translate to an absence of boundaries. Your challenge is to acknowledge that you have
which
is a lack of boundaries, so you can then put them up.
And also, which is why it's nice to date someone who has makes you keep to your boundaries.
And then we've got the generational planet, like I said before. So Uranus moves every, I believe, I can check that for a second to make sure I'm not saying something stupid. Uranus changes signs every 7 years, Neptune every 14 years or so, and Pluto every 12 to 30 years or so. So Uranus is the revolution planet, which brings about unexpected change. Technology takes you out of your comfort zone, and it means that your career or work path can be unusual. So we have the same here, by the way, just remembering.
Yep.
You're edgy and innovative, especially when it comes to professional matters. And I think both of us being in social media and all that stuff is kind of like, that's what it is.
So, but this is true. Yeah. This is true then for our whole generation.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is kind of makes sense, because it's
is this also why we have generations called like millennials, Gen Z? Are they related to that, or is that strictly the 10 years that you were born in?
It could be related, but that's not, I don't know if it's related to astrology. That makes sense.
Actually, thinking about it now, I don't think it is, because millennials are obviously like born around the 2000s. But
yeah, I feel like people wouldn't care about putting astrology into things in a way, but yeah.
maybe, but
Not
it does
sure.
make sense. It does make sense. So
Hmm.
yeah, the revolution, how you handle change. Okay. And what
Yes.
is Neptune?
Neptune, illusion planet, so spiritual planet, and same, it's in Capricorn, which means you're all often inspired with new business ideas, projects, and you can be scheming in the way that you work, like really ahead of things. We're like a very project performance anxiety focused generation, I believe.
Yeah.
But we also have a lot of crazy, funky, cool ideas. Yeah, I would say
We do. Our generation is the best. Just saying.
just like this podcast.
Yes.
that was very impulsive and unexpected of us, by the way, if I remember correctly. Yeah. That was a bit random.
Exactly.
Pluto is in Scorpio, transformation planet, where you reinvent yourself and embrace the deepest, darkest part, like your shadow side. So this generation, hang on, revolutionizes taboo topics such as sex, death, and spirituality. Interesting, isn't
that
it?
sounds like our podcast.
Yeah.
Look at us being in line with our Pluto.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you for this birth chart breakdown. And I hope that everyone knows a little bit more about it, like I do now, because I had no clue what the fuck this was. And now
I do give a lot of what's it called, resources as well, things that I use to learn more, and like apps that are free where you can actually get information about yourself without really talking about astrology. If people want to go further, I do give that stuff in the breakdown as well, so you can look that up if you're interested, like the pattern. I think you and I talked about this, so I gave that in there, which is an app that is free, and that kind of stuff. So
that is so cool. Well, thank you all for listening. Wow. Thank you all for listening. And I hope that you learned something like I did this week. And go follow us on Instagram on Let's Talk About the Podcast. And we hope to see you back in 2 weeks for our next episode. Bye.
Bye.